This new moon on December 12th is the one we've been waiting for. Stay tuned to find out all the goods and the details. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to New Moon Musings for our new moon happening on December 12th. And what an exciting moon it's going to be. For those of you who are just joining me for the first time, stay tuned to watch how you can make this reading really work for you throughout the new moon cycle. For those of you who have been following me for a long time, go to the timestamps below and click on the intro. We'll see you there. So here's how the new moon musings reading works. In the new moon, we have different cycles and phases of the moon. We have the new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter or third quarter, and the waning crescent. The first part of the new moon cycle is the waxing cycle. So we have waxing gibbous, waxing crescent. What does waxing mean? Waxing is the energy of, at the new moon, we are deciding what we want to work on. And the waxing is putting the action into what we're trying to create, what we're trying to achieve, a project that we're trying to complete. And then the waning part of it comes after the full moon. So you have new moon to full moon, that is the waxing. And then the waning is the full moon to the next new moon. And it doesn't mean that there's no action involved in the waning. It just means you're more reflective about what's going on. You're paying more attention to what action was put in, and is it working for us, and do we need to tweak the process as we are working to connect the dots and find the completion to that particular cycle. Each of these phases of the moon represents a different energy that each of us is experiencing in the collective as well as individually. So what you can do is watch the entire reading once all the way through to get the overarching energies for this particular new moon cycle. And then throughout the phases of each moon, you can come back and review each of those phases. Now, it's not an exact science. I read it as though we have basically three days, 2.5 to 4 days. So take the average in the middle, 3 days in each phase. But the moon is a bit temperamental. And so sometimes you can be in one phase and lasting a little longer in that phase. And maybe the next phase will be a little bit shorter. And, for your neighbor, it might be the exact opposite. So it's important for you to really tune in and recognize where you're at energetically when you're tapping into these. So check out the timestamps below when you're watching this reading, anytime after you've taken in the full message and the full energy. So what an exciting new moon in Sagittarius that we have for December 12th. And it is going to be happening at 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard or 12:32 p.m. UTC time. And the Sagittarius moon at this time is all about restoring our optimism for life. It's bringing us luck. It's bringing us hope. I made some notes here. It's a time of great abundance and the ability to manifest. I want to say to you, this new moon, whatever you manifest, whatever you put into practice and the intention that you put behind it, you're going to have the energy supporting that actually coming to pass. And how exciting is that? So we want to be paying attention to our thoughts and how we're feeling about what we're putting out into the world. This is also a time for us to dream big, because not only is it that we can dream big, it's that there's the opportunity for it to actually come to pass. We have commitment, we have dedication. When we dedicate ourselves to a task, we're actually going to have the energy to put behind it to make it happen. Sometimes we can dream big, but there's not a whole lot that actually happens or occurs, or we feel tired, or we don't quite know exactly what we want, and the universe kind of says, okay, well, I'll wait until you figure it out. That's not this time. So it's a very exciting new moon time. So let's get to it. I'm going to pull our release card, what we are releasing from the previous moon cycle. And to get us started, I'm going to be pulling cards from Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. This is from Earth Moon Magic. This is a brand new deck that I got. And for those of you who know me, I love supporting independent deck creators on Kickstarter. And so this was a Kickstarter campaign. So let's see what we are collectively releasing from this previous season. And of course, we've just come out of Scorpio season, and we're now, really kind of into the heart of that Sagittarius. So it's been very watery. It's been very emotional. We've had a lot of Mars energy affecting, and Mercury actually affecting our choices. And now we're moving into Sagittarius, where Jupiter is playing a big part in what's going on. So what we're releasing, Page of Cups. Page of Cups is a card of creativity. It's a card of, I want to say, optimism and hope. And on the flip side of it, it gives you this impression that I don't know how to be creative. I don't really know what to do. I'm just kind of winging it, or I'm flying by the seat of my pants, but I don't have a lot of confidence that what I'm doing is going to come to fruition. And you can see in this particular card depiction, this little boy is sitting at a piano and he's teaching himself to play or learning how to play. And I imagine that those notes that are coming out of the keyboard are not necessarily very melodious. And so I feel like this is what we're leaving behind, is a little bit of that fear of being a student, that fear of not knowing, not having all of our ducks in a row, kind of releasing the need to have, I want to say, all of the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and giving ourselves permission to maybe not have all the answers, to not feel silly or stupid for having to ask questions, for needing to be in a space of learning and experimentation. So I feel like we're releasing fear around the unknown, in essence. So that's kind of a cool card to start us off with. Our next card is our soul card. So what is the collective learning and growth for this particular moon cycle? So I always love doing the soul card because collectively we are learning, we are growing. I mean, you can't go on YouTube and watch one of these videos without hearing about the shift in consciousness, the new energy shifts, right? We're in a high energy shift period of time. And so the soul card is giving us a kind of a hint, a helpful hint as to what energies the collective is focusing on at this time. So for our learning and growth, we've got the Lovers card. And oh my God, this is the perfect card for us to get, because guess what? Sneak preview of what's coming us for in the full moon. The full moon is, the energy is all about reflection. And so this coming up as our soul card is matching that, because the Lovers card is all about reflection. It's about who do I see myself as through your eyes, and how do you see me? It's that soul reflection back to one another. When we connect with one another, when we integrate our lives, when we share ideas and we commune with one another, there's a certain level of I'm seeing myself through your eyes and I'm seeing you through my eyes, and there's that pinging back and forth. And what is it that I'm noticing? Do I like what I'm noticing? Do I like what I'm seeing? Do I need to make some adjustments to what it is? If I don't like what I'm seeing, do I need to make some adjustments? So I feel like this month, with this particular new moon cycle, from that soul collective energy, it is giving us the opportunity to reflect. And you don't need to be psychic to know that this is a particular period of time. We are in December, where there's naturally this collective reflection energy that comes up. We're reflecting on our year that has passed, and we are preparing ourselves for what we'd like to see happening in the new year. So I feel like the Lovers is coming up as a supportive card to say, yes, this is a time to reflect, and don't be so hard on yourself when you're doing that reflection. You can see in this card the heart that's between them, the love connection, the light that is between these two individuals. And I feel like that is the blending of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within each of us as well. And recognizing that there's no room for anything here but love. So if there's a reflection that's happening and you're saying, oh, gee, I didn't get where I wanted to be, or, oh man, I really got stuck or hung up on this or that, or, oh man, it was a really crappy year and I don't even know how to sort of move forward. The Lover's card comes up and says, reflect with observation only, not with judgment. And understand that when you are reflecting, you don't want to reflect from your head. You want to reflect from your heart, because it is your heart that's going to give you the true picture. It's going to give you the truth of what, I want to say, what came to pass, and it's the truth of what is in our now, being in that present moment and inviting us into that heart space energy. So what a great card for us to kind of get started on. Now we're going to move into our new moon card. And our new moon card is all about the sort of the affirmation around it is I manifest. Ooh, and this deck is talking to us. The card just flipped out. So what energies are here to support your manifesting? How can you lean into the wisdom? Beautiful. So 5 of Wands. This is easy because the new moon energy, when we're talking about manifesting, preparing ourselves for what's to come. We've just released the previous season or the previous cycle. Now we're starting a new cycle. What do I want to experience in this cycle? So what am I manifesting? 5 of Wands. Focus. This is the card that's going to really assist you and help you as you're moving forward into this new moon cycle. What I'm feeling here for a lot of us is that there's going to be kind of out and about in the general world a lot of scattered energy. Now, we're in holiday season, so if you happen to celebrate the holidays in any capacity, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. And even if you don't celebrate these particular holidays, there's still a lot of hustle and bustle. You know, even if it's not your holiday, you're still having to wait in line for your groceries and wait in line if you've got to pick something up. And, you know, Amazon, the Amazon Prime doesn't always work for the 2 days. Sometimes it takes a little longer, right? So we're all affected by, I want to say, some scattered energy, some hecticness. And I want to say this particular period of time, and this is going to be December 12th through the 15th, what you want to do is you really want to tap into what you're focusing on. Don't worry about the world at large right now. And I know that's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of stuff going on right now that really could use our focus. That's, I want to say, a little bit separate from this message. 5 of Wands is, where am I at right now? What do I need to really focus on? What do I need to get connected to so that I can get my tasks done and feel calm and peaceful inside? I'm really hearing that this 3-day window, it's very important that we show up in the world in the ways that we wish the world to be. And that's how we're sort of helping the collective, is by bringing it into that microcosm of us. So if you are feeling scattered, if you're feeling panicked, if you're feeling like, oh my God, I've got this and this and this to do, and I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and I don't have time for you, and I don't have time for this, and I've got to get this stuff done, I want to say to you, consider a different approach. Consider maybe taking a look at the list and saying, I need to delegate. Or maybe you can consider saying, you know what, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, but it would be a lot easier if I had someone along for the ride with me to just sort of keep me company, talk to me while I'm doing some of these things. Maybe it's time to look at the list and say, you know what, I think I need to cut this list in half. And that feels better. Because what you're going to bring out into the world, what you're going to lead with, you're going to get back, because we are in a reflective energy with the Lovers. So 5 of Wands is encouraging you to really get clear on what your focus is. And you may have to revisit that focus after each task. You know, you might have your list of 20 things to do today. Just focus on the one task at hand. Otherwise, you run into the issue of, I want to say, not conflict as much as running into, you know, just general problems, things not working smoothly, things could be a little smoother than they are. You know, running into issues where, you know, certain people are getting heated over issues, getting worked up over things that normally you wouldn't need to do that. Or if you were calmer and more at peace, you could diffuse the situation before it got worse. You can, diffuse the situation with humor, diffuse the tension by bringing some humor to the situation, or by saying, you know what, let me handle this, or let me help you. I see that you are in distress. How can I help you out? So it's really important that you bring the focus, that you bring the centeredness, and I don't want to say groundedness as much as connection to your core, which we could say groundedness. We often think of groundedness as grounding to Mother Earth, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But we can be grounded to Mother Earth and still be scattered in our own core energy. And it's the core energy that really needs to be the focus. And I'm going to pull a quick little fun affirmation. These are the sweet ass affirmations that are just, honestly, they're just fun. So I'm going to pull that for each of the sort of the cardinal points of our spread. So as we are connecting to this new moon, here's your affirmation. I react with peace and ease, no matter how stinky the cheese. How freaking perfect. So there you go. There you have it. Mic drop. My job here is done. I don't need to say anything more. So I react with peace and ease, no matter how stinky the cheese. Connect to your core. Feel solid in your core space. Okay, now we're moving to our waxing crescent card, and this is I plan. So we've gone from this I manifest, now it's these next 3 days is about I'm putting a plan into place for how I'm going to manifest or how I'm going to put into practice what I've opened myself to manifesting. So what do I need to consider when creating my plan for the cycle? Any challenges or opportunities to be aware of? Ooh, so we got a lot of fire energy here, which is great. Wasn't I just saying that earlier, how I think I said it. Maybe I said it in my mind. Maybe I was having a conversation with you in my dream state. I don't know. But I'm just so grateful to be out of the watery energy of Scorpio. And so now we're into the wand season. And of course, Sagittarius is fire. So these wands that are coming through, it's very apropos for the season that we're in the cycle. So 8 of Wands, when we're talking about this, I plan, what do I need to consider? 8 of Wands is really powerful. 8 of Wands is a card of swift release. And as you can see in this particular card, we've got a tiger in mid-leap or mid-run. You're catching him in the action phase of his choices, and he looks very determined. And that's what I'm hearing here is what do you need to consider when creating your plan? It's what are you willing to put into? What are you willing to invest? Levels of determination that we have really help us to discern how much energy we need to put into something. So if you kind of don't really care a lot about it, but you still want to kind of see if it's going to happen, your determination level is going to be a little smaller. It's going to be a little shorter. It's going to be, I want to say, bite size. If you really want this to happen, your determination, and I'm hearing the word perseverance, is going to be more at the forefront. So I feel like this is connected to focus as well. The 8 of Wands is coming through to say when you're creating that plan, what is your actual focus? What is your actual goal? What is it that you want to achieve and receive? What is that desired outcome? Because you're going to need to enact in that plan levels of determination in order to be able to make that work and to make that happen. I'm just getting a hit on work-related stuff, or for those of you who are retired, it's how you're contributing in your life and into the community. I'm really feeling that with this perseverance energy, you're going to need some of that from a work perspective. And I feel like it's because there's going to be some kind of shakeup in the collective. And I don't know to what degree this shakeup is, but I feel like it's, it could be very much economical. We know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the economy right now. Financial, of course, it is the holiday season where there is a certain level of societal expectation around spending a lot of money and the stress around that. So I feel like the perseverance energy is coming up when we're talking about this 8 of Wands, because you don't want to persevere on something that isn't actually in alignment with where you're trying to get to. Again, keeping in mind that Lover's card and the reflection piece. Maybe this is a period of time or a window of time where the plan goes into, I persevered on this and this and this last cycle or a few cycles ago or last year, and it didn't really come to fruition. And so maybe it's a timing issue. Maybe my dream team is letting me know that this isn't actually for my highest and best. Maybe things have shifted in my circumstance, and me persevering and focusing on this one thing is causing me to not see some of the other the opportunities that are available to me. So I feel perseverance is something that you want to evaluate. Do I need to persevere with this? If the answer is yes, then persevere. Dive right on in. Be that tiger, that is very singularly focused and knows exactly what he's going for. And he's not held back by anything. He's not allowing anything to hold him back. If you're evaluating and you're recognizing, what? I don't think this is really worth my time, then let it go. Swift release. I let it go. I just drop the bag. I drop the baggage. I don't have to worry about where I put it or what I need to do with it. I literally just need to drop it and move on and move forward. 8s are also really supportive at this time because we are going into an 8 year, moving into 2024. So I feel like 8s are also helping you through this reflection to align with your path of mastery. What am I here to master this year? What am I wanting to master in my life for me? Because whatever I'm doing here now is going to assist the collective. So there's an energy of mastery coming through as well. All right, we're at our first quarter card. I act. What energy fuels my motivation? How can I collaborate with source energy to empower my actions? So very much I want to say yang energy, moving forward. And this is happening on December 19th through the 21st. I don't know if I said with the waxing crescent, it was the 16th through the 18th, so I apologize. Wow, we've got the judgment card. Big stuff. So judgment is decisions, and it's making a decision. It's saying, from the fool's journey perspective, it's saying, all right, I've gone through, I've walked this path, I've had this really incredible experience, I've learned and grown from this energy, from all of the things that have sort of happened to me. The judgment card comes up to say, have you learned all of it? It gives you an opportunity to reflect and to look back on where you've just come from. Is there more for you to learn? Do you want to take another kick at the can? Do you need to go one more time around the merry-go-round to get the full benefit of everything that you've experienced on the journey? Or are you ready to move on to the next level? Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, moving on. So I feel like for us in the first quarter with the I act, judgment, and it's interesting, we're talking about discernment, we're talking about perseverance, we're talking about dedication. Judgment falls into this as well. We're making decisions, but I feel like this is a very odd message. You need to not make decisions for anyone else but you. During this window of time, the I act, it's not I act on behalf of another person. It's I make decisions for me only. And this is going to be a tough one for, I want to say, those of you who are parents, because a lot of times the job requirement is making decisions for the little ones who can't make decisions for themselves. So obviously, use your discernment around this. But I really feel like this next window, I'm only making decisions for myself. So maybe I'm making decisions for my own happiness, or I'm making decisions based on what's going to fill my love cup, based on what's going to align me for what is to come ahead in the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months. Judgment, it's giving yourself permission. You're in charge of your own life. You're in charge of your own decisions. You're in charge of every choice has a consequence. Some of them are great consequences. Some of them are not so great consequences. But at the end of the day, we all learn something from the experience. So the judgment card is asking you to pause. Take a look at where you're at. Are you deciding to go backwards because you need to kind of relearn some things or go a little bit deeper? Or are you ready to move forward? And that's the decision. You can't make this decision for anyone else. It's making decisions for you. And that added message, I feel, is, if you're running into situations where someone's like, oh, I can't make up my mind, it's kind of like, well, I can't make it up for you at this time. I need to just really focus on what I'm doing for me. So I'm going to go here, and you're welcome to join me, but this is what I'm going to do. If you need time to figure your stuff out, by all means, go ahead and do that. But this is what I'm going to do here. So committing, I feel like the judgment is also, we could use the word commitment. You're choosing to commit to a path, and it's committing to the past so that you can relearn or revisit, or it's committing to this movement forward. And spoiler alert, your guides are really, from a collective perspective, going to encourage forward momentum, movement forward, because the past is the past. There's not a whole lot we can do with it. So it's understanding, if I'm not ready to move forward and I make that choice to do one more kick at the can, it's not that I'm reliving the past. It's not that I'm going back and doing the exact same things over and over again. It's that I'm going to repeat a cycle with observational approach to understand, what did I miss when I was last in this particular cycle or this particular pattern. All right, so our affirmation, sweet ass affirmation, for this first quarter card, December 19th through the 22nd. My mind is King Kong strong, and I am even stronger. I love it. So it's really, I feel like this judgment card, it does take strength to recognize and evaluate, I'm at the end of a cycle. Have I learned what I needed to learn? Do I need to revisit and regroup, or am I really ready to move on and move forward? And I want to say the stronger piece, it's, your mind is strong, but you're even stronger. What does that mean? Our monkey mind, connected to our ego, often rules the roost. It shouldn't rule the roost, I always say that the mind is a tool that's supposed to enact the heart's wishes, but it doesn't always do that. Sometimes it's a little bigger for its britches than it needs to be, right? So understand that you're stronger than your mind. You're stronger than your ego. And you can make the choices that you need to make for you. And you'll have the strength to be able to do that in whatever way that looks. All right, waxing gibbous. I choose. What energy can I lean into for confidence as I discern my commitments? December 23rd through the 25th. So for those of you who celebrate Christmas time, this is falling on those days. Page of Swords. So I feel very much like this particular window of time. It's interesting, we were just talking about choice in the judgment card. I feel like this particular window of time, it's understanding that, when we are kind of in holiday mode, a lot of times people don't feel like they have a whole lot of option. Well, I have to visit so-and-so, and I have to go here, and I have to go there, and it's all about obligation. Page of Swords says, don't choose from obligation, choose from a sense of wonder, new thought, new approach. Again, this is our second page, and pages are it's the childlike awe and wonder. It's that energy of student. I want to learn. I want to experience all that there is for me to experience, and I'm very curious about what is out there. And the Swords energy is the realm of the mind, mental energy. It's also intuition. So Page of Swords says, in terms of I act on your intuition, act on your spidey senses, do things a little bit differently than living strictly from obligation. Go into that inner space and listen to the inner voice, the inner guidance that says, this is going to be healthy for you, and maybe this won't be so healthy, or this won't be so enjoyable. Just an analogy that's coming up in my mind, for people who are this is a very odd message, for those who are on a health journey, a food journey, health journey, holiday season can be a real challenge. Maybe you are taking some kind of challenge. You're doing a detox, or you're trying to lose weight. Or maybe you're trying to gain some weight, but you're doing it in a, sort of a healthy way, and there's purpose behind it. this particular 3-day window can be a real challenge. And yet there's obligation. Well, I have to go to that party, but I'd really rather not because I'm not feeling strong enough in my ability to say no to all the deliciousness that's there. I've chosen to commit to myself. It's understanding the Page of Swords says, okay, use your intuition. Maybe your intuition says, okay, it's not a good idea for you to go because you're going to fall off the proverbial wagon, right, of whatever you've chosen to do. Maybe Page of Swords says, eat before you go so that you're full and that's not your main goal. Maybe Page of Swords says, hey, maybe you can show up after sort of the dinner and, bring a fun game or a craft or an activity or, a video that everybody would, really enjoy getting involved in some capacity. So Page of Swords says, get creative through your intuitional channel. Listen to the intuition. Yeah, obligation feels very much like, well, but if I do this, I'm going to disappoint people. If I don't go, I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. Page of Swords says, my intention is never to hurt anybody. My intention is to be right and aligned with myself so that I can enjoy all of it. So that I can really step into all of it. I can be, I want to say, non-attachment. I'm not attached to any one single thing. I'm here to explore all of it. And I need to be able to be comfortable enough to say, I know how to go about doing that for myself. So Page of Swords, I feel, is almost giving us a little bit of courage. And I wouldn't use the word courage with Page of Swords normally, but intuitively that's what I'm getting. Page of Swords encourages you to step into your courage around any kind of obligatory choices. All right, now we are at our full moon. So this is the full moon card, I receive. So the new moon was the I manifest. We've gone through the plan. We've made some decisions around what we've learned. Now it's I'm opening to receive. So how can I best open to the energies of this full moon to receive clarity, guidance, or direction? What gift does this full moon offer to me? This is December 26th through the 29th. And I just keep hearing, before I've even pulled the card, I keep hearing this is a powerful time. It's going to be a very powerful time. When we're talking about the lovers and the reflection, it's not self-reflection and quiet reflection. It's more reflection of self through engaging with others. So even though we're receiving, it's a time of receiving and we think, okay, we need to kind of be quiet, be still, open our minds, open our hearts. I don't feel that at all. I feel like it's going out and reconnecting with those that really matter and make a difference. Yes, you've done a lot of holiday stuff. Sometimes doing holiday stuff doesn't necessarily mean that you're connecting with your favorite people in the world or the people that you live with and connect with on a daily basis. It's the extended family energy, and all that is wonderful and good. And now we also need to recharge and reconnect with those that we walk our paths with. So a very, very powerful time. Oh my God, we've got another 8, guys. 8 of Pentacles. So I definitely feel like the universe is preparing us for the 2024 energy that we're about to embark upon. And so we're talking here about the I receive. We're at the 26th through the 29th. So we're towards the very end of 2023. And so 8 of Pentacles is coming through to say, what are you learning about yourself through this interaction with others? 8 of Pentacles is a card of mastery. 8 of Pentacles is a card of higher education, paying attention to the fine details, but getting lost in the joy of those fine details. So it's kind of like when you are engaged in a particular passion of yours, or you love what you do, you love your work. I'm thinking numbers, people in numbers, which is funny because I'm not a numbers person at all. But there are people who can get really lost in figuring things out and figuring stuff out, and they enjoy the process of going through that. Some people enjoy the process of cleaning or decluttering, organizing, things of that nature. it sounds a bit tedious and mundane, but at the same time, there can be a meditative quality to it because you get lost in the work. You get lost in the flow of what is to come. And I feel like that's how you're able to receive. You're receiving mastery through the interaction with others. You're putting in the work. It is effort that you're putting out into the world. It is effort. It's showing up and sharing of your energy, sharing of those energetic spaces with those around you. And yeah, you might be a little bit tired at the end of the night, but I want to say to you, the effort was worth it because there's so much that you're learning about yourself through the process that's really going to catapult you into that alignment for 2024. I feel a lot of us are going to have aha moments during this 3-day window that helps us with our word of the year, helps us to focus on what we are putting first in our lives, focusing on the desired outcome for the year 2024, all of those things. So there are going to be some real inspirational aha moments. And then the Eight of Pentacles comes in and says, with those inspirations, here's how we're going to put them into practice. So I feel like that's really important. All right, let's get our sweet ass affirmation for this Eight of Pentacles for the new moon cycle. And I feel like the gift of the full moon, when we say what gift does this full moon offer, I feel like it's offering you a slightly different perspective on mastery. You are learning about yourself, but it's not like you're having to take a course. It's kind of like, boom, there's the insight. Boom. I didn't have to work too hard for that. Like I already put the work in and all of a sudden it just clicked. I think of it like math. When I was a kid, it would take me like 50 different analogies. But once that analogy clicked, I never forgot it. I never couldn't not do it. It's kind of like you arrive at a point and you never have to go backwards. You only go forwards from there. So I feel like that's the gift of this receiving. I am the blessing I've been waiting for. Oh, I love this. So the affirmation for this full moon, as we're receiving, it's understanding that you're receiving this stuff from source, you're receiving this stuff from your high self, you're receiving the insights, you're putting it out into the world, but it's coming from you and it's coming through you. So you are the blessing you've been waiting for. The answer is going to come through you. It's not going to come through anybody else. The insight isn't going to come from another person. It's actually going to come through you. So you are the blessing you've been waiting for. All of the effort and the focus that you've put onto yourself or put into yourself is going to pay off. And I feel that there's going to be a lot of aha awareness around that. All right, the disseminating moon. So this is the waning gibbous. I acknowledge. How best can I honor my gifts and my light during this time? Where can I express gratitude from the heart? This is December 30th to January 2nd. So Happy New Year during our disseminating moon. So what are you acknowledging? Another wand, folks. Knight of Wands. And at this point, we are actually into Capricorn energy. So we've moved out of sort of the Sagittarius energy and we're now into Capricorn. We've been in Capricorn since the full moon. Actually, we've been in Capricorn since the waxing gibbous. But we're still, I want to say, we're still riding on the coattails of that fiery energy connected to Sagittarius. And Knight of Wands is beautiful because Knight of Wands absolutely acknowledges, I've received this order. I've received this inspiration. I'm super pumped about it. I'm action oriented. I'm not going to sit around and wait now. I've already created the plan. I've gone through the process. This is a time for me now where I am moving forward and I'm excited about it. How can I best honor my gifts and my light during this time? Being seen. He's walking, he's got the sort of the lion behind him and he's walking towards us. And if you notice, he's got the light in his solar plexus. I feel that there's a lot of courage here. There's a lot of energy around knowing, confidence, knowing where I'm going. No, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm prepared. I'm loaded for bear, right? Like I've got the top of the food chain that is backing me up. And I feel like the top of the food chain that's backing you up is your own courage, your own bravery, but also the energy of source saying to you, hey, I got your back. you've done really well. You're moving through this cycle with a lot of confidence, and this next 3 or 4 day window that you're stepping into is really significant because there's no fear. There's no need for fear. There's no looking back. We're only moving forward, and we're using, I want to say, healthy, balanced ego energy. We're using that I know that I'm awesome and I rock. I know that I'm worthy and deserving. I know that whatever I need, all I have to do is tap in and ask for it, and it will be granted. It will be given. So I feel that there's an energy of shedding a lot of fear around what you've been reflecting on. It's recognizing, okay, as I move into this new year, I've learned so much from this particular journey of 2023 that I don't need to worry about this and this and this because I've already been there and done that. I can check it off the list. Or I can simply say, I don't ever have to think about it again because it's done and over with. And it's about the forward momentum. It's about the future. It's about what I'm walking into. It's all about the confidence. So I feel like during this disseminating moon, what you want to be considering is where in your life are you feeling underconfident? Where in your life are you still giving away your power to the past? Because Knight of Wands says, I'm not giving my power away to anybody. I'm on this. I'm on it. I'm not thinking about any of that other stuff. I'm clear in my direction. And even if you're not clear in what the vision is that you're walking towards, you're clear in what you're putting your focus to. That I may not see that clearly, but that's still the direction that I'm heading. So understand that it's really about your own choices. And we talk about the Lover's card, that reflection. All of this is being reflected back to you through your interactions and your experiences with others. It's up to you. I always like to say wisdom is a nothing burger unless you apply it. You know, all the wisdom in the world doesn't really matter if you're not using it and applying it. Knight of Wands says, yep, we're applying that wisdom. I'm moving forward. Doesn't mean I know all of the everything that's going to happen, but I'm confident in knowing that I have what I need to move forward and to get where I need to go. Okay, so now we're January 3rd to the 6th. This is the third quarter card. I claim what is being completed in my life at this time, and how can I connect to its release with conviction? Ooh, we've got Three of Cups. So Three of Cups is a card of celebration, collaboration, community in many ways. And I feel like here you're claiming your right to be a part of something bigger than you. You're claiming your spot on the planet. You're claiming the air that you breathe and the space that you take up. And you're claiming it unapologetically. I feel like that's really, really important. This energy, and we're talking about January 3rd to the 6th, you know, how can I connect to its release with conviction? It's saying I do belong here. And if I'm with people, if I've been given some reflection this cycle with certain people that say that they don't want me here, that's important for me to recognize, because I don't need to invest any more time or energy into that space and that place. I have the right to breathe the air that I breathe and take up the space that I take. I am here, world. I've arrived, and my conviction is, coming out of the Knight of Wands, I'm moving forward. I'm moving into my future with confidence, with bravery, with courage. And the Three of Cups, I feel, is the energy that's really going to support you in that. In terms of like celebrating community, I feel like this is going to be a time actually where it's not so much that you're going out and being very active and social. I mean, you could be, but I feel it's actually kind of the opposite. It's more, this is a time where you're reflecting on your community. You're reflecting on your role in community. And what does that look like for you moving forward? Are you happy with your role? Would you like to take a more prominent role? Do you feel right now like you need to take a step back? You've been too much in the spotlight and you're needing to pull back, or others have been pushing you into the spotlight and you've just kind of gone along with it, and now you're saying, no, that's not what I want, or it's not aligned with where I'm going. So I feel like it's less about actual sociability and more about reflecting on your place in the community. So paying attention to a lot of that energy. I feel like, I talk about this a lot in my Phoenix Rising events every month in my Ignite Your Wings membership community. Friendships have really gone through the ringer over the last couple of years. And I want to say we're still in it, but we're starting to come out of it. 2024 is going to be very different, but a lot of our social spaces and places have really shifted and changed from the way that they were, pre-COVID even. And I feel like what this is sort of saying is this is the last layer. This is the last opportunity to get your ducks in a row about this, to really be reflective on the inside about what you need, what aligns you, what types of friendships are going to get you where you need to be, and what type of friend you want to be for others. Because that's important to know and to understand as well. It's one thing to say, okay, I want to be a good friend, but you have to have a reciprocal energy on the other side. You have to have the right type of person on the other side who wants that aspect of friendship or appreciates what it is that you bring to the table. So there's reflection going on kind of all around friendship and community energy. So don't despair around it. This isn't about going sort of into the deep end of the ocean or getting lost or going down the rabbit hole. This is more about conviction, right? Commitment. I'm making this choice, and here's how I'm going to move forward. And here is our affirmation for our 3 of Cups, which is our 3rd quarter moon. I release my urge to force happenings. I surrender to my flow. Wow. Super powerful message. And I love the 2 fish. It makes me think of sort of a little bit of Pisces energy. But I release my urge to force happenings. I surrender to my flow. Really matches a lot of what we're talking about here with that 3 of Cups energy. And understanding, you know what? I'm here. I'm owning that. I'm claiming that space. I acknowledge that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I'm releasing that need to have to prove myself. And instead, I'm surrendering to the flow of what is and allowing things to unfold organically. And now we're at our Balsamic moon. And Balsamic moon is the waning Gibbous. This is January 7th through the 10th. And it is I surrender. What energy can I lean into to fly free in this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? And we've got, oh my God, another knight. So we've got 8s, we've got wands all over the place. We've got 8s, we've got pages, and now we've got 2 knights. So there's a lot of synchronicity in this particular reading. And we also have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, the Page of, I thought it was the Page of Wands. It's not. Page of Cups and Page of Swords, but the Swords energy is the same. So, and lots of 8s. So Knight of Swords, when we are talking about this Balsamic moon, the I surrender card, it's really interesting that Knight of Swords comes up with this because Knight of Swords is the least likely of the 4 knights to surrender to anything. But what this is indicating is you want to kind of get out of your bullishness, get out of that bulldozer mode, get out of the need to drive the bus, as I like to say. I want to say it's almost like we could use the analogy of you're going on a long car ride. Use cruise control. You don't always have to have your foot to the gas pedal. You can be discerning about certain areas where there's a little bit of cruise control. So Knight of Swords can be very impulsive, can be very my way or the highway in a lot of ways, is very much leader energy. I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say. I'm going to lead the way and I expect you to follow. So this coming up in the Balsamic moon and the I surrender space, it's kind of like saying, don't be the Knight of Swords. Be the Knight of Swords that is more subdued. Be the Knight of Swords that has had a bit of an awakening, a profound moment, and is taking a pause and reflecting. It doesn't mean you can't be moving forward. It doesn't mean that you're not still, I want to say, enacting the plan for the month, but there is a level of reflection around what it is that you've just done in this cycle. This is the end of this particular new moon cycle. So Knight of Wands, it's kind of like saying, just get off your horse and, sit and have a drink. We'll get where we need to go. We'll get there. It's okay. We can take a bathroom break. We can take a break for lunch. We don't have to be so driven to get where it is we want to go. Knight of Swords is coming in as well, because with that Lover's card and the reflection piece, it's like Knight of Swords is like, okay, well, let's go. Like, everything's new. This is new energy. We need to take advantage of it. Like, we can't sit around and just wait. And I feel like the Balsamic moon energy is saying, yes, we can. There's plenty of time. You've just done a whole whack of activity. So just breathe, especially because this is coming after our Three of Cups, where you're being reflective on community and where you stand in community and what you would like to open yourself to this year in community. Knight of Swords tends to be a little bit of a lone wolf, not entirely, but a little bit of a lone wolf, because, they can step into that leadership role and get tunnel vision. Sort of get very focused and can't see the other things around it. This is saying, no, surrender to what's around you. Surrender to those opportunities, those invitations to go out when you've got a bunch of work to do. Surrender to, I want to say, a little bit of balance in your life, and surrender to, not saying you have to give up leadership, but surrender to that kind of driven, goal-oriented leadership for a while. Just be in a space of, we'll get there. We've got the plan, so I'm just going to relax and I'm going to trust a little bit in divine timing and divine order. I don't have to drive the bus all the time. I can be in a space of trust. So I feel like that's really important. And then our final card is our Dark Moon card. And this isn't actually a technical phase. This is more of an energetic phase versus a physical phase of the moon. And it's I release. So what were we releasing from the previous cycle? We got the Page of Cups. So what are we going to be releasing during this Balsamic moon, considering the journey that we've just been on? So what can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose? And how can I remain open to the new and the unknown in this process? Four of Pentacles. So what you're kind of releasing is that almost like a miserly control. It taps right in with our Knight of Swords. Releasing some of that miserly control, releasing the idea that I'm not safe, I don't have all of my needs met, I have to protect this treasure, this little treasure that I've got. I can't let anyone else into the mix. I need to go it alone. You notice this card, there's no one else around. There's just this, sort of darker figure standing alone or sitting alone in his little throne room, and he's protecting his gold. But what good is that gold doing him? He's not connecting with others. He's not enjoying all that life has to offer. He's focused on scarcity and lack. He's focused on the idea that everybody's out to get me, that I'm so attached to everything that means that I could lose everything. So I have to hang on tighter. I want to say Four of Pentacles is coming up to say, no, you've established something new. There's a new direction and a new path forward. And coming off of the Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords message, it makes a lot of sense. Get out and about in the world. Go and connect. Surrender the lack. Surrender the fear around, if I don't protect my things and my stuff, they'll be taken away from me. Release all of that. There's enough to go around. There's limitless abundance and limitless supply. And this is an invitation for you to tap into that. So that is our new Moon Musings cycle for December 12th. It was such a pleasure to connect with you guys in this way. I hope you enjoyed it. We have, as this is being released, we have a few more spots available for my Your Year in Preview service, as well as my Your Year in Transformation. For those of you who are not familiar with this, I've been doing this service now for almost 10 years. It's one of the most popular limited time offer services where we go through 2024 month by month, and I tell you personally in a customized way what's coming up for you in 2024, so that you can prepare, you can be in the space of all of that. We get very specific. It's not a real general reading, it's very specific to the energies of your personal 2024 year, and that's the year in preview. And the year in transformation is an amazing deeper dive into that 2024, where your particular goals, we get to dive really deep into them, and you get a channeling with that, channeling direct from the archangels or your dream team, your guides. There's affirmation work, there's a card pull in there, there are reflection questions, there's a meditation that you get to take. We get to really connect with the energy of the phoenix in your life and in your year. It's super powerful. So I will make sure to put links in the description below if you would like to book either of these sessions. They are limited time only. They're only going to be available until January 31st. So you don't want to miss out, and I would love to connect with you in that way. Take care, guys. Happy New Year in advance, and we'll see you on the flip side. Ciao.